Today for reading workshop, we are going to be reading an article and answering a short response question. So our teaching point reads, readers think about the relationships between parts and how they connect. That's something we should always be doing as a reader. Think, what am I learning? What are the important parts? How do they connect? A lot of this work is going to be more on you guys this week since it is week 6. So there will be opportunities for you to do some of the work as well, and then your teachers will be able to check in on this work. Directions. Read this article, then answer question 48. A Universal Language, Football for Dreams by Kathleen Wilson Shyrock and Marcia Amid Lusted. So why don't you go ahead right now and why don't you just set up your genre and set up your lens? You guys know what it pays off to pay attention to. You know this. And read this article. So it says we're reading an article, so we expect that it should be informational. However, it might sound like someone's telling the story a bit, so why don't we just think about setting up our lens, and then you can kind of see as we read on if maybe you change your mind. It all started around a family dinner table in Mission Viejo, California in 2004. Nicolette Iribarne, her sister Gabriella, and their parents were talking about soccer. We started talking about how soccer is so universal, how everyone should play without inhibitions, Gabriella recalls. My sister was the one who started it, really, and we got the idea to send soccer balls around the world to people who didn't have them. That conversation led Nicolette to start an organization called Football for Refugees, recently renamed Football for Dreams. Oh, so now I'm getting the idea of where this title is coming from, Football for Dreams. So this is her organization. And that really says a lot about her as a person, as a character. She set up an organization for people who didn't have. That's really special. Her original goal was simple, to collect 1,000 soccer balls and send them to refugee children. That is simply amazing, especially at such a young age. I'm just going to jot that down. And since you guys could see my screen, watch how I'm doing this. I'm going to click the little text box, and then I'm going to click the screen. And I can put my annotations in here. So go ahead and you can do that as well. I'm going to be specific instead of saying the young girls. So let's say Nicolette and Gabriella started an organization I can even infer right here, she really must be, I'm thinking, like a really kind person, if I was to describe her. Read on with me. Nicolette and Gabriella have been traveling with their parents since they were young. Soccer players themselves, they had played soccer with local tribes in Thailand jungle next to elephants. Wow, that's really amazing. With kids on the sidewalks of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on tobacco ranches in Honduras, and of course on their own sports fields in Mission Viejo. They knew that soccer was a universal language, and no matter how many cultural differences there were between kids from different countries, most kids knew how to play the game. Nicolette says the game of soccer led to instant friendship and showed me that beneath our cultural shields, our cores are all the same. I love that. I'm just going to go back and reread that one part because I feel like that's already like a trend about these characters and something that's really sticking out at me. And it speaks a lot about what they want from their organization. They knew that soccer was a universal language. Oh, again, this connects because if we go back into paragraph 1, look where we go back. We started talking about how soccer is so universal and how everyone should play without inhibitions. And that word, what she was trying to say, is she wants you to play without any feelings. Like, just be relaxed about it and just play. So there seems to be an idea here that we're thinking that these two young girls really just want people to play despite their cultures. So I'm going to jot that down again. I'm thinking how the parts connect. They knew that soccer was a universal language, and no matter how many cultural differences there were between kids from different countries, most kids knew how to play the game. Nicolette says the game of soccer led to instant friendship and showed me that beneath our cultural shields, our cores are all the same. So that's really beautiful. So that's why they really do value that. And that's how they connect and fit together. It's not about your culture, it's not about what language you speak, it's something that everyone can play. I'm going to read on a little bit longer and then I'm going to ask that you read the rest to yourself. When Nicolette first told her parents about her idea for sending soccer balls to kids all over the world, they didn't tell her it was impossible. Instead, they helped her put her plan into motion. Nicolette originally sent out 200 emails requesting donations. At first, the project was off to a slow start, but it began to pick up steam once Nicolette contacted Oliver Weiss, a soccer coach. Nicolette had met through a summer camp program. Weiss runs the organization Soccer for Hope, which provides assistance to children with severe illnesses. Oh, so this person's kind of similar to her too. So something that I'm noticing is as all these parts connect, I don't want to say joining. Soccer is joining people together. Joining, bringing. I think soccer is bringing people together to develop friendships You could be annotating as well. You don't have to use my annotations. You can use your own thinking, and I want to make sure you guys are doing that. And something else, as you can notice, I'm thinking like another idea throughout this text is they had an idea and they both want to spread it, right? So Nicolette and Gabriella like want this to get big. And then Oliver Weiss was another soccer coach who also wants it to get big. And he was so nice enough to even support her because they're passionate about this. This is something that means a lot to them. He liked Nicolette's idea and followed Football for Refugees to be set up with his organization so that donations could be processed more easily and donors would feel more comfortable with an established organization. He also donated 25 soccer balls. Wow. So his organization might have been around a little longer and is a bit more reputable. So he wanted to support her and they kind of joined together. So I'm kind of thinking like they value like their values as a person is they really want to help people. That's what I'm thinking. And it's a game that everyone can play and it's important to them. I'm going to ask that you read the rest on your own, thinking strictly about what am I learning, what are the important parts, and how do they connect. So you guys can continue reading on and then you can share your annotations. After you're done, I expect that you guys can answer the short response question. What is the central idea of a universal language, Football for Dreams? Use two details from the text to support your response. Write your response in here, so you just click and you'll get the text box, and then you could begin by writing the central idea is, don't forget, you have a claim and two details, and here is your tool in case you forget. I look forward to reading your responses, and you will type them in here. Here's a tool, and remember, I want you to think, what am I learning? What are the important parts? How do they connect? And your annotations will help you answer the question and get a 2 out of 2. That's what we want. Okay, readers, see you in a little bit.